application assignment number 2, and I'm going to put a caveat on this because you're going to do this a total of twice. So application assignment number 2 is also very similar to the discussion board. I want you to practice, but they need to be different research questions. I want you to practice writing a research question and aligning a method, and then potentially, hopefully, methodologies to help you answer that research question. That is the goal for both, and that's why I want you to practice it twice. Once you're practicing with me, the second time you're practicing with peers, and then one of these questions you'll carry through into module 2, but only one of the questions. Because you are very familiar with literary analysis, because it is the majority of the undergraduate bachelor's degree, I'm asking that you don't write a question that's literary analysis focused, so that you get practice with something else. You get practice with applying and showing me that you understand how to write a question and answer it with a method that's not textual analysis. Which is hard because everything can be textual analysis. We can look at movies or video games with textual analysis. And this is where mixed methods might be your best bet. So it might be that you're looking at textual analysis and discourse analysis, or textual analysis and visual analysis. And then you can bring in additional methodology. So obviously I study play. It was in one of the earlier videos. If I'm looking at a video game, I'm not just looking at the story arc of the game. I'm looking at the playability, the user experience. What is the user required to do for the game to progress? What happens if you don't make a choice and it kicks you, does it kick you out? Does it do something else? That experience is not textual analysis. That experience is a whole different method and a whole specific series of ideas that I'm pulling into that. Mixed methods, always mixed methods, because the text does matter. So that's a huge explanation for application assignment number 2. All to get at really the goal. Don't overcomplicate this. I don't care what the format looks like. There are no page requirements for this, because I want you to focus on writing a research question that's not in line with a class, and then answering it with a method that's not in line with a class. You have to come up with this all on your own from outside of any boundaries. You're not studying the profession of English studies. That's not what your goal is here. So what research question can you ask? What method would help you answer that question? What methodologies might help frame your analysis and narrow down your project so that it's actually doable? That is the goal of application assignment number 2. I have specific questions in here, and again, these look very similar to the discussion that you're going to engage, because I want you to practice this more than once. Writing a research question is not easy. We're not all going to get it on the first try, and honestly, even now when I write a research question, I fine-tune it and I revise it as the research is ongoing. I don't go to the literature first and then come back and write the research question. I need a question to direct my research, but once I've started doing the research, depending on what I stumble upon, I'm probably immediately going to have to revise that question and start to align what sources go with it, and then again, what method, and how do I narrow and work with that method, and then what methodologies are most common, because all 3 of those pieces matter, and they really help me define my identity as a writer of that particular piece for whatever publication I'm going for. You're not there yet, but you can see where all of this heads. So for right now, all of the coursework that you've taken is, here's the topic of the course, and so then the research question, the method, and the methodologies are dictated by the topic of the course. That's already artificially, honestly, narrowing the scope for you. We're taking away all of those artificial boundaries, and you just need to write a research question that's not a textual analysis, and then you need to come up with what do the methods look like and what do the methodologies look like. If you have questions about this, or the discussion, because again, these assignments are fairly similar, because I want you to practice this. This is a skill that you need to practice. Send me an email or come to office hours.